We are here in the beautiful Lake District. We are here in Wasdale. We're camping. It's a beautiful sunny day. As often happens when we go camping, we start talking about movies. Yeah. So we thought we'd bring you a different kind of setting for this episode, and just have a little bit more of a laid-back conversation. Yeah, it's been an interesting year for films. Mm-hmm. Interesting in all the worst ways, in my opinion. I think 2025 has been pretty poor. Tarantino recently did a quote saying that 2019 in particular was the last real solid year you could pinpoint and say that was truly a year with some fucking top-tier movies. And of course it's the year where his most recent film was in. But you know what? Fair play, because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood...
Of course he's going to say that.
...was such an event. That was such a good time, man.
I mean, thinking back to that year, I still can't quite believe we had Parasite, Hollywood, Joker, Marriage Story.
Insane. Just insane. The Lighthouse. Crazy. The Lighthouse as well.
Yeah, Lighthouse. Midsommar. Yeah.
Great year. Insane. Solid year. And you just compare it to this year. And even 2024. I'm not to say that there haven't been good movies this year. But, like, I think, when we go to the cinema and you watch the trailers, just every trailer just looks so shocking.
Yeah.
Bad. There are only a few movies that I'm actually like, I'm looking forward to that.
The thing I found this year is that whereas 2023 to 2024, there was a lot to be excited about the whole year round. Mm-hmm. This year, it's more like the stuff during award season, so September onwards. Yeah, really. Which I think, that's kind of a problem, because it means throughout the rest of the year there hasn't really been as much that's like grabbed me. I don't know if you felt. So.
Yeah, so it's August this year. What exactly are you looking forward to?
Well, to see what the Safdies do. For that.
So what are they doing at the minute?
So Benny's doing the Smashing Machine,
right,
and then Josh is doing Marty Supreme, which is kind of bizarre. Mm. They've split, and now they've both got competing films in the same year, both about extremely niche sports, going up against one another. How weird is that?
It's weird that they're sort of picking the same kind of genre. It'd be interesting to see the difference. Obviously, I'm more familiar with Benny Safdie. What's the other? What's his name?
Josh.
What's Josh done recently?
No, well, he hasn't done much outside of
collaborating
Time Uncut Gems with his brother, because Benny's an actor as well.
Yeah,
so he's more well known. Like, I'd say to the general public as well as film fans.
Fair play to them that they're sort of doing their own thing and spreading out. That's cool.
But this year I do have to agree it's been hit and miss, and I'm not even sure about the Oscar season, especially. Whereas, not much will top 2019.
Yeah,
but you look at last year, like in Anora, some of the other films, there were some fantastic films. Like,
100%, yeah.
The Brutalist.
It's
incredible.
I'm still yet to see that.
Oh, man.
I need to, because it's directed by the guy who was in Funny Games as well.
Yeah, I can't believe that bloody Brady Corbett from Funny Games and Thunderbirds. Yeah. It just blows my mind that he directed such like a masterpiece.
Isn't the Brutalist like quite low budget movie?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It was only about, I want to say, like 10 million.
Right, okay.
And that shit looks like it could cost at least 50 or 100 million. Like, what he was able to do on such a small budget,
so
it's
impressive.
Unbelievable.
When you I've seen the trailer, it looks very, very impressive. Especially when you compare it to movies that are like double that budget, triple that budget, and just don't look anywhere near as good as that.
And I think that's just really like amazing for independent film, because that shows what you can do with such a small budget. So I mean, what he managed to achieve with that film is pretty like remarkable.
But the being in this wood setting, it kind of reminds me, especially when it gets dark, of just being in a horror movie. It really gives off that kind of creepy vibe, which I personally love.
Which one of us is going to go missing first?
But don't you like that feeling of being creeped out?
I do in a way, because it's like it's out of the norm.
Yeah.
Kind of, it forces you to like reflect, not getting super philosophical here, guys. It's not just on yourself, but just
sort of how you could prepare for
just on life and on the state of cinema as well.
Yeah, I think that's what horror movies are good for, because they put you in that position where you think like, what the fuck would I do in this situation? You consider something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh god,
which I still need to watch the original.
Oh man, you need to see the original.
Isn't that like extremely low budget?
Oh, it's really brutal.
It's like not even a million, right?
No, no, it's so brutal. Like really low budget, it was made for nothing.
Yeah, I like those movies that have that real distinct vibe of like, it's really grungy and kind of shot badly, but that kind of feeds into the general style.
Charm of it.
Yeah.
And it's not even like that adds to the charm of it in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's like it just adds to how realistic it is and the makes you feel. I mean, like the first Halloween.
Yeah.
Like John Carpenter, super low budget. And that's
works.
where, with a lot of these, I find it really interesting. A lot of these classic horror franchises, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, started off as super like low budget passion projects. And they've gone on to have hundreds of sequels. And I think what those sequels lack a lot of the time is just passion. Because the thing is, we look at Friday the 13th and Halloween as franchises, but then you forget, once upon a time, they were just these
standalone movies.
They were these indie films.
Yeah.
And I find it so bizarre when you see all these like new Halloween films. Halloween dies, Halloween ends. It's never going to bloody end.
I know.
It's like, I watch those and I think, what are you actually trying to do?
Yeah. They're just trying to recreate that vibe.
Yeah.
They're just riding off of that, the cultural phenomenon that the movies once were, and they never, ever stand up. It's hard to think of a spin-off to like a franchise like that actually worked.
In the horror genre.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Rob Zombie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. Like, he's made some real kind of dog shit movies that are like grungy, but they kind of don't work. He did an adaptation of Halloween that was actually quite good. Do you remember that?
I do.
But he always adds so much sex in his movies for like no
just
fucking
and like
reason.
unnecessary like gore.
Yeah.
When it's because have you seen House of a Thousand Corpses?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but that film has a really big cult following. People seem to fucking love it.
Yeah.
And I think it was strange that he tried to apply that same tone to Halloween. Because Halloween is a much subtler horror film.
Yeah.
The original anyway.
Yeah.
Because with that, it's just the fear of the unknown. That's why we find Michael Myers scary. The fact that he's this almost godlike, entity. I mean, that's what we come to assume from the myth, right? And that just makes him more horrifying because he seems like a regular guy, but he just can't get away. And I think the problem with Rob Zombie's Halloween is that he leaned too much into the gore. And I don't know if you found this as well, told us a bit too much about Michael Myers.
Yes,
That's a big thing with his adaptation.
Interesting you say that. I quite enjoyed him exploring a little bit of Michael Myers' backstory. Yeah, I think it kind of worked, but I'll agree. It wasn't perfect. It was definitely a very flawed movie, and then he did a couple more.
I
didn't he?
just think, especially with a lot of horror, villains, and this is the problem when they turn into a franchise. If they tell you too much about the killer, I don't find him scary. That was the problem with the Rob Zombie Halloween film.
So you prefer it when your serial killers are very, very just
Absolutely.
weird entities.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I suppose that definitely makes sense because you can't pinpoint exactly where their origin came from.
Because the thing is, if I can't rationalise why they're doing what they're doing, that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. Like, have you ever seen the movie Strangers? The Strangers? No. That is it's a flawed movie because, the characters are just really, really boring, right? Like, the main characters are boring. You don't really root for them. But the kind of tense atmosphere that they created in that movie of, just a home invasion, the idea of being in this kind of, desolate location, and in the middle of it, there's just this house that's so isolated, and you're cut off from your support structure, and you've just got these people in masks in the middle of the night banging on your door, peeking through the windows, and you don't know where they are because it's dark outside. That movie, I remember when I first watched it, it scared the shit out of me. When you're home alone, if you put that on, you will be scared. No matter how flawed the main characters are, it's very effective in that sense. The standout directors to me are definitely Ari Aster, which we've talked at length about. But Ari Aster is he just knows, he understands horror, and what he does with his movies is he has his own style. He brings his own unique flair to all his movies. Midsommar, right? It's derivative of that kind of the Wicker Man and stuff like that. But I don't care. The way that he told the story was so unique, and there are certain shots in that movie where I'm just like, wow, that is such the perfect way of scaring the shit out of you. Do you remember when the dude walks into the barn and the character has just got his back has been like flayed or like turned into wings, and he's got flowers in his flowers in his eyes, and the camera just tilts turns under his head.
Yeah,
and
bro.
Oh my god, it's so
but
disturbing.
even the simpler shots, like when Florence Pugh's character goes into the hut, and you have all those all the weird little maids going.
Oh my god. So weird, because it's that feeling like you're watching the scene and you don't you can't really pinpoint what it's about. I think that's what he's great at doing, is putting you in this kind of state of mind where you don't really know what's going on.
No, he is fantastic at world building.
Yeah,
creating an atmosphere.
And what's great is that his cinematography isn't. It has it like he uses loads of different tools to tell his story, but it's not overly stylish. He will just shoot on like a wide-angle lens, no cinematic scope or anything.
Apart from the odd time in Midsommar when he randomly decides to shoot the car.
And
I love those kind of shots.
That just reminded me.
It's not entirely needed.
No,
it just looks really cool.
I remember when I first watched it, I thought that was shit. I hated it.
That particular shot?
Yeah, it really annoyed me.
Where it just cuts to the car.
I just thought, oh mate, we're just trying to be like Kubrick. Yeah. I think it's very hard when people mess with Kubrick, when so many people do,
No, but I think it's valid because, especially when I watch Midsommar, I think if Kubrick was doing a folk horror film, that's how he would shoot it.
And that's another thing that Kubrick is just a genius at, is just you're kind of following a plot. There's always a story.
Yeah.
But it's so loose in the sense that you're feeding into the next scene one by one, but you're not exactly knowing where it's going. You never know where his movies are going to go.
Going back to Eyes Wide Shut, which we talked about before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that film just puts me in such a trance.
Isn't it? And you said that the first, literally the minute it started, it put you in a trance. That was the same with me.
I'm like, something is off.
Yeah.
I'm leaping into the unknown, but I quite like that,
I'm so thirsty for these I think that's the problem with this year and recent years. I'm so thirsty for movies these days where you can just go back to the cinema and actually watch a movie where you seriously cannot predict what's going to happen. I think that's the important part of a movie, is you just don't know where it's going to go. And let's be honest, you sit down and watch 90% of movies, you know where it's heading. Most trailers spell it the whole fucking story out to you already. So it just doesn't feel like you're going on an actual journey. Isn't it so amazing where you sit down and watch a movie and you seriously do not know where it's going to happen? And I think that's what Kubrick is such a genius at. No matter what movie you put on, you will never fucking have a clue where the hell it's headed.
Not.
And it's the same with Ari Aster.
Yeah. Given the location that we're in, how do you feel about the folk horror genre?
I think we need more of it. Really. Yeah, I think we need more of it. I quite enjoy it.
But have you seen The Wicker Man?
I have, yeah. Not the original.
You've only seen the Nicolas Cage.
I find it so funny how many times we've brought up the Wicker Man.
Yeah, that's the one.
But always the Nicolas Cage one. What's the original
watch the original Wicker Man. Because that's informed almost every folk horror film.
Yeah, yeah.
Really simple and effective, quite, and it's a low budget British horror as well. Mm-hmm. So it feels even grungier.
I genuinely think
that's a chilling film.
Maybe this is why loads of people's directional debuts focus on horror, because I feel like low budget and horror go hand in hand. Just in the respect that always, to me, less is more with horror. And not to say that there aren't horror movies that take advantage of a huge budget and do it very well. But most of the time, when it's just centered on one location and you're just following a character, as long as it's not cliche, which is most of the time, it's more effective than if it was just multiple set pieces, huge characters. You don't want huge. Do you know what I mean? How can you be genuinely scared for all these different characters? It's so good when it centers in on one, character in a low budget environment.
Did you see Men by Alex Garland?
Men? No, is that a horror movie?
No, so it falls into the folk horror genre just because it takes place in a small English village.
Oh, right.
But I guess it's more psychological horror, and that film really frustrated me.
Right.
It's actually one of the few times I walked out of the cinema generally angry, because it was a film that was insisting upon itself how smart it was.
Right.
I felt that, and it really annoyed me.
How is it? I think it's quite well received, is it?
No, that was really divisive as well.
Oh, was it?
It's Alex Garland, who, of course, wrote 28 Years Later, 28 Days Later, Ex Machina, Civil War.
Right.
Has done some great stuff. But with this, like it really wasn't as deep as it thought it
What's
was.
the concept of Men?
So this woman loses her husband.
Right.
Like he throws himself off the balcony, and I guess she's struggling with the grief of that.
Right.
So she goes to stay in this like small cottage in the countryside, and there's only like two actors. It's her, so Jessie Buckley, and Rory Kinnear. But basically, it's this one guy, and the whole thing is he plays a multitude of different characters.
Right.
So she's in this village, and she starts seeing weird shit. Like there's a bit where she sees a little boy, but it has the face of Rory Kinnear, who's like a grown man, and he plays the priest as well.
Right.
And at the end,
It's kind of like, is it kind of like surrealist?
yeah, very surrealist horror.
Right.
And at the end, it's like she kills him, but then he turns into a cocoon, like a giant egg, and one man comes out of the other, and it's basically like a very heavy-handed metaphor for gender politics.
Right.
And the way, like, I guess men behave in society.
Well, like how men are kind of like an ominous force or some shit.
Yeah,
like
that's right. Yeah, an ominous force. How sometimes they don't listen.
Right.
And I just thought
Interesting that it was a dude. That,
yeah, exactly. No, but it's a man making this point, and not to say like a male director couldn't do it in a nuanced way.
Yeah.
It was so heavy-handed and just smacking you in the face with it. Like, do you get it? Do you get it?
Is it almost like you should hate men?
A little bit, not exactly hate men, but it's like all of look how bad you are. You see yourselves,
Right.
So look how terrible you are.
It's no wonder that a movie like that would,
Yeah, and
would,
it just
would happen recently.
It really frustrated me.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the people who who really like it, they say, "Oh, you just don't get it." No, I get it. But I didn't like.
You're not a woman. Do you think if you're a woman you'd like it?
I don't even know, man. I don't know who it was for.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was made for.
You see that a lot these days, and that's another thing. When
that was a really frustrating film, and it was A24 as well.
Yeah.
So it was like elevated horror.
Yeah. When like these ideologies get thrown in your face and fucking
Exactly, that was the
recent
problem
movies.
with that film.
That's a common thing that happens, and it can sometimes work. Sometimes you can do a movie to show that, but when it's so heavy-handed and it hasn't got anything else, like it's no substance to it. It's just trying to.
Or in men's case, it thinks it has substance.
Yeah.
Or it's like proclaiming.
Yeah.
That it has substance.
Like it, it's such a kind of funny saying, but I actually think it insists upon itself is a good saying.
It's valid, even if some people are like, "Oh, it's a very lazy criticism." I don't think it is.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Because you can feel it, man. Especially in the horror genre.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Do you think?
I mean, A24 is partly to blame for this. I mean, yes, it's given us Ari Aster and Robert Eggers.
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about Robert
There are
Eggers.
just a lot of like directors in the horror genre who are insisting, "Look at me, I'm making like a deeper point." But using this genre, and horror can be great at that. But when it doesn't work, it's so obnoxious.
A lot of the time, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're just trying to do too much, and it stops the movie from being timeless because it kind of focuses on certain politics that is happening during that year when it was made, and most of the time it doesn't work. That is the problem. It's always less is more with horror. 100%, I totally agree. But with Robert Eggers, he's an interesting case because. Like The Lighthouse was actually my favourite movie of 2019 just because of how unique and different it was. It was
still an incredible film.
It's great.
I love it.
It's one of those movies that really, really, like, I was intrigued by the trailer and when we actually went to a festival, didn't we?
Yeah, the London Film Festival.
Yeah. And the trailer captured exactly everything that I wanted from that movie and more. Like, it was just spot on perfect. It was just two people centered in one location, slowly going insane. And there's small little glimpses of kind of like some weird, supernatural elements or maybe, mythology behind it, in the sense
Which
that...
Robert Eggers, he loves mythology.
And just the sense that this symbol of just a lighthouse where only Willem Dafoe is only able to access, and Robert Pattinson throughout the whole movie, he's so curious what the fuck is up in there.
Like, he wants to see the light.
He wants to see it.
Physically,
what is it?
Metaphorically.
Is it God? What the fuck is this light?
Yeah.
But like then... I don't know what happened with Nosferatu. We were really...
I'm with you on that. I was very excited for it.
Yeah, we were really excited to see it because it was like, wow, he's taking like this 1912 fucking movie, which a lot of people say is the scariest movie.
The most iconic like vampire story of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that iconic scene of him walking up the stairs, and it looks so goofy now.
Oh, what do you mean, the original?
The original one, yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of people still find that like the most terrifying scene they've ever watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, in particular, Nosferatu, was so poor, in my opinion. Really, really poor. Don't get me wrong, the cinematography was great.
There's still merit to it.
There is, 100%.
In the cinematography and all the technical aspects, no one's ever going to say it's a shitty-looking film. It's not. It's gorgeous.
I think that's an example of a movie that is just very, extremely one-note. It's literally just gothic and scary.
Even though you can feel how much effort he's put in, how much he loves the genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was something missing for me. And not that like these horror movies always have to have like an emotional core.
It was just an empty movie. And I didn't find it scary. I really didn't find it scary. Each to their own. I know a lot of people did say that it was a very scary horror movie to them, just the character.
But then some of the performances as well. Like I thought Aaron Taylor-Johnson was just very odd and not in a way that like matched the tone of the film. Another director who a lot of people have heralded as one of, the new kings of horror, which I have to disagree with, but maybe he still has time to pull it back, is Jordan Peele. How do you feel about Jordan Peele?
With Jordan Peele, he's an interesting director because people absolutely love his movies. He's like, to some people, he's just like the god of directors, like their favorite director of all time. And I just really do not understand that at all. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, Get Out was pretty good. I don't think it was remarkable, though. I thought it was decent. Don't get me wrong, it's a good movie. But
I think it still holds up really well.
It does hold up. It's a very enjoyable film.
And also, just a great, like, screenplay, because he won the Oscar for that.
Oh, yeah, he did,
that is a tight film, no matter how you feel about it, just the pacing of it.
And his directorial debut, great. But then it came to Us.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because it's what happens, not just in the horror genre, with certain directors, they make their first film. It's critically acclaimed, it's adored, and then they get like kind of a blank canvas to do what they want with the next one.
Yeah.
And sometimes they go a bit overboard. That's what happened with Us. And I feel like Us I like it less and less the more I think about it.
Really?
Because and I love when somebody has a deep lore in mythology, but I think it just got a bit carried away. Like, did you find that? Like,
I thought Us was really poor, really, really, really poor. Yeah. Even when I walked out of the cinema, I was just like, yeah, this is just like it didn't even. I didn't even have to think on it straight away. I was just like, I did not like that.
But was it that well received? I forget if it was like Us was.
It's pretty mid. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it.
Like as a masterpiece.
No, like it's just. Again, the dad. It's the problem with these horror movies.
It's always the dad, man.
The dad is a fucking moron. The dad is so, like, fucking frustrating. Like, you've got these weirdos, right, chasing after you, looking to kill your children, right, your own kids, and you're cracking jokes. What? Am I supposed to root for you? Is this a comedy?
He's like, come on, let's listen to some music. Put the stereo on.
It's like,
come on, man.
The dad is such a fucking dickhead in it, and it was because he was trying to bring some levity. He was obviously trying to make it funny.
And comedic relief, it's always welcome.
But you can't have comedic relief when you're trying to make people scared at the same time, in the sense that you're rooting for the main character.
And the comedic relief is just quite irritating to begin with. Like the dad was just a bit annoying.
Yeah, he was really annoying.
You didn't see Nope, did you?
No, I didn't.
Nope has been divisive, but I still really like it because just the themes he chose to tackle, especially because he wrote it during COVID.
Right.
I think are fascinating.
Yeah.
Because the whole theme of that is spectacle.
Right, okay.
And how far that we as humans will go to capture spectacle.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I guess it's not really horror, it's more like a cross between elevated like sci-fi.
Right. Okay.
Because the main entity is like this giant like saucer slash cloud you never see.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a really interesting theme for him to tackle.
Yeah.
That film was a great score as well. I understand why people didn't like it, but I think it really hit for me personally.
Yeah, I think he definitely tackles always kind of unique things. Yeah. But it's just whether or not he can... he can actually pull it off. And then you have the guy who did Birdman.
Alejandro Iñárritu.
Yeah, he's one of the top directors that actually you don't really hear much about.
No, I guess after 2016 he kind of like not stopped directing, but he started making like more low key films and like films in in his own language, in Spanish.
Yeah,
because it's weird. After The Revenant, you didn't really hear of him.
No,
he's a very like talented director.
Oh, he's excellent. He's one of my favorites. Yeah. The Revenant really grew on me. Revenant, I think, is just an excellent film.
Yeah, and the thing with The Revenant is the themes are nothing particularly new.
Yeah.
But just the filmmaking.
Yeah.
The filmmaking that is unbelievable.
I think me personally, I always prefer movies to be a kind of experience rather than...
No.
Like, you can have like, one of my favorite movies is, like, obviously Shawshank Redemption. Like, that brings me to tears every time. Like, just the ending of it, it cultivates just the perfect combination of emotions in that movie. It takes you on such a journey. And obviously that was Stephen King. And the guy who did the first season of Walking Dead, who's the director? Frank Darabont.
Yeah.
He had an era where he was just killing it, man. He did Green Mile as well. Have you seen that, Green Mile?
I haven't.
That's
bad,
excellent.
Isn't it? I have not seen the Green Mile.
Green Mile it's just a journey, man. And they are both films.
Is it better than Shawshank, would you say?
No.
No.
But they are both movies with just excellent stories, obviously adapted. But they also cultivate just the perfect blends of great story, but also in a way that's so experiential and you can just drink it in. And I think I've always been a fan of more of those kind of movies where it is more of an experience, if that makes sense. It's hard to put my finger on how to explain it. It's just kind of like, you know, movies that are trying to make a point, or they're trying to say something about the world around us. I go to movies personally to get away from the world around us, you know? Like,
to escape. Yeah.
To go somewhere that I haven't been before. I don't want to see, you know, sometimes they can do it in a clever way. They can reflect the world back at you.
Yeah.
But I think they always do that better when
it's a simpler story.
When it's a simpler story.
And like the themes are quite classic.
Yeah.
Even if like these are characters you've seen before, these archetypes that are quite familiar to us all. Yeah, I can see that. That usually ends up being a lot more powerful.
I'm a little bit worried at the state that, obviously, thanks to A24, I'm so glad that they exist. And obviously Netflix, obviously being able to fund these, you know, these new up-and-coming directors and giving people the voice to do experimental filmmaking, that's excellent. And I did a video essay on talking about why that's so damn important. But you also need the other side of the spectrum where there's still a place for just good, well-told traditional stories. And I think we are at a place right now where we are still getting traditional stories. Yeah. But there's less of them.
No, I think it is unfair to say, like, a lot of other critics and, you know, people in the film community of Letterboxd and YouTube say, that there are no, simple, like, original films. That is harsh to say. They're still out there, but yeah, less and less.
Yeah, for example, like, I think that's why people absolutely loved the Top Gun Maverick movie, because it was just a very traditional story of like an action film.
It was a throwback. It's like a much simpler era, like in the 80s, where you had what would be considered franchise films. Yeah. And they had, you know, sometimes cliche characters, but they were just well done.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a great story and well told. And I think that's why Top Gun Maverick did so well.
Yeah.
So recently I watched this show called Conversations with Friends on BBC iPlayer.
Oh, right.
And it's based on a book by Sally Rooney, who wrote Normal People.
Oh, yeah.
Popular book. And I don't know why I actually watched it. I was just like quite intrigued. You know, and it has like some decent actors in there. You know, Joe Alwyn.
Right.
He's a pretty solid actor.
Yeah.
And I was really frustrated by it.
Right.
Because none of the characters were likeable, and I don't mind that if there's an interesting resolution. But this show had little to no resolution.
Really?
It's a romance about these two students in Ireland who are like these English students, and they meet this couple who are, you know, very like kind of a bit uppity, and one of the girls begins an affair with the guy. And in the whole show, it's basically just them shagging and pontificating whether or not they should have this affair.
Right.
And again, the main girl is just so unlikable. Yeah. Just a really irritating character. And then after all that, she leaves this guy to be with her best friend, who she used to be in a relationship with, because she's bisexual.
Right.
And the whole thing ends with with like the husband being like, I'm with my wife, but I still miss you. And she just goes, you know what, come and get me then. And it's like, what the hell was I meant to
Wait, is there going to
think?
be another season?
No.
Wait, this is just a standalone.
No, this is it. It's a 12-episode, like, mini-series.
So what was the point of it?
I don't know. And yes, relationships and human emotions are extremely complex. But when I do not like any of the people involved, why should I care?
Do you think it was intentionally making you not care about
Yeah,
them?
probably intentional, maybe not, but like...
Maybe you just in particular just really...
It's just not me, because I haven't seen Normal People. I know you tried to...
No, I watched Normal People, yeah. And it's the same writer, right? So
Yeah.
That show that you just watched, that was based on a book as well.
Yeah, no, it's the same author as
Yeah.
Normal People.
Normal People is
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to us not being the target audience.
Yeah, we're probably not.
Mark Commode said, like, oh, I never understand Titanic. And someone said to him, that's because you're not a teenage girl.
Which is fair enough.
Even though I actually kind of like Titanic. I do.
Yeah, and I guess the thing with, Normal People and conversations, we're friends.
Yeah.
We are in our mid-20s, but we're not, like,
No.
I guess not lovesick. Like,
No, but I think...
20-something-year-old, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, English students or
I
like...
think I actually really, really love romantic movies.
Oh, same.
Like
same, man.
When Harry Met Sally.
I love me a cheesy little rom.
Yeah, same. I
Honestly.
like When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Even Jerry Maguire is a fantastic
I
movie.
still need to watch it. I've only seen a few out of context clips, but it's Jerry Maguire. Is that a good one?
Excellent. I watched that recently and I cried.
Really?
Do you ever have it? I don't know. With me, I have
Yeah.
a really weird emotional reaction to some movies. I'm probably one of the rare people that cried to that movie because it wasn't sad. It wasn't anything that kind of like, happened in the movie that would generally provoke that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
But after it finished, I was so overwhelmed by just how sweet the movie was. I was
Okay,
just
so
like, it's such a sweet
It was like
little
tears
movie.
of joy as well.
Yeah, I was like, wow, what a beautiful
Nice,
film
nice.
that was. Like
Yeah.
it just had a lovely
Yeah.
feeling to it, and I think
But-
that's why I love rom-coms.
Yeah, if you ever get around to conversations with friends,
Yeah, it's probably the
even-
same kind of thing.
just none of the characters are that interesting,
Yeah.
and they're awful. they're really like just bad, shitty people.
Yeah.
And it frustrated me because the show ended up being a lot of shagging,
Yeah.
and then nice
Yeah.
houses, like an interior design show.
You tend to you quite often watch these TV shows that are bad, but you stick with them.
I think sometimes it's a case of hate watching, and other times it's like I've made a commitment. I've started a journey. I've got to finish it just
Yeah.
to see if there's anything worthwhile at the end. And with this, it wasn't.
Like The Idol as well.
Oh man, the Idol. Wow, our very first episode. That's what I talked about.
Is it well received?
No, God no. But the funny
Yeah, I was
thing
gonna
is, there
say.
are people who still unironically are trying to defend it, and like even Lily Rose Depp said in like a recent interview, she was like, when I'm out and about and people say they love The Idol, I'm like, wow, that's amazing, thank you, I love that character.
Are there any well-written characters in The Idol?
No. And it's like the Weeknd, great Abel, you're a good musician, but God, he can't act.
Yeah.
And that's another one where people are using a weird excuse of like, his character's meant to be like this cult leader.
Yeah.
And like guru, right? And he's really creepy and kind of like cringy.
Right.
And
He's
people
got some
use
weird
excuses
quotes,
like,
right?
but he's meant to be sleazy and cringy.
Yeah.
But when the acting isn't good, I don't think you can get away with that.
Yeah.
He's just not good at playing cringy.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many lines that just sound like they were written by a horny, like, 15-year-old on...
Oh, it sounds like a very horny show.
Yeah, it's a very horny show.
Yeah.
I mean, which is because it's Sam Levinson, the writer and creator of Euphoria, and Euphoria oftentimes feels like it was written by, like, a 15-year-old
Yeah.
edgelord, and that's all of The Idol, man.
Euphoria is annoying because
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful film,
Yeah, God, I
TV
mean,
show.
I think it might be the most gorgeous TV show I've ever seen.
Really?
Honestly, man, so many beautiful shots, especially season 2, because for whatever reason he got Kodak to redevelop their like Ektachrome film stock.
Specifically for the show?
Yeah.
Oh my
and I
God.
think he's doing that for the 3rd season, which is why it takes so bloody long to film. Not needed for a teen drama. It shouldn't take fucking 8
Is
months.
it anamorphic?
8 months. I believe so. I'll have to
Anamorphic
check,
shot on
but
film.
like,
I think it is. It looks
yeah,
like
but
it.
like such a gorgeous show, and the first season, and the first season works because each episode focuses on a different character.
Right.
So, yeah, it was kind of able to hide the cracks that were already present.
Interesting.
And the writing was a lot tighter.
It's not based on a book or anything like that?
No, well, actually, it is adapted from another TV, like a foreign TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And with the first season, it was kind of like largely like taken from that structure.
Yeah.
Whereas the second season, it's all him.
Right.
And the first season is still pretty solid, but the second season, just Sam Levinson, man.
Really?
Like, I'm going to give you an example of one scene. We need to put an NSFW for this one. So it's like Sydney Sweeney's there with Jacob Elordi.
Yeah.
And he's been with Alexa Demi's character. They're shagging in the bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. And then she goes in there, and Sydney Sweeney hides in the bathroom to get away from her. Mm. And then one thing that happens in the scene, so the girl goes to the toilet, you see her wiping her ass, throwing that piece of toilet paper on Sydney Sweeney.
Right.
And after she's gone, she gets out to leave the room.
Yeah.
And there's a guy sitting on the toilet,
like
with his dick out for whatever reason, and he goes, "Yo, girl, you're really fucking hot, but I still need to take a shit." And that is an example of how weird and edgelordy that show is.
Oh, fucking hell.
It's like, why did you write that? Were you bored with your own scene?
Did you understand the purpose of that scene?
No. It's not even good comedy, man.
Do you think maybe they were like, look, we've got the look down. The visuals are fucking amazing. You just said that it's one of the most...
they are. The most beautiful. Yeah.
We can do what the fuck we want, right? Because it just looks so beautiful. People will just love it for that.
Yeah, that's the problem with Euphoria. Without the cinematography, the second season more specifically, and to an extent the first season, even though the first season is a lot better, it will be nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So you'd say the first season was generally... pretty good.
Yeah, pretty well received.
Right.
And also the special episodes that they did in between the second season, which are actually some of the best of the show.
Oh, okay.
Because the interesting thing about these special episodes is that each of them is like set in one location. Well, the second one is set in like very minimalistic locations, like a house by the beach, therapist's office. But the first of the special episodes is just set in the diner.
Right.
And those episodes are really good. Because the interesting thing about Sam Levinson is when he's writing Zendaya's character, Rue, who is like, she's a drug addict and he struggled with addiction as well.
Yeah.
It's really solid. All the other characters, he doesn't know what he's doing when writing them. When he's writing the rest of the show, God, I don't know what's going on. But the stuff with Rue, especially that second episode, excellent.
Wow.
Really good, and that was generally well received. But the second season, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I find shows like that very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
When you have like really solid episodes where it really feels like, wow, they know what they're doing. And then the majority of them are just really, I struggle with shows like that. I generally give up on them because it's bloody annoying. Because you have to sit through hours of just poor shit to get to the good bits, and a lot of shows are like that. To me, I like to focus on just shows that you can generally look at, which are very rare. Don't get me wrong, but you can look at and you can go, wow. I mean, to be fair, one of my all-time favorite shows is The Office US, and there are some pretty poor episodes in that show. Generally speaking, though, I think it still holds up, even the season 8 and 9.
I think because it's a very pure show.
Yeah.
And compared to the UK Office, it's not as dark and like nihilistic with its humour, which is the beauty of the UK Office.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah. I love how dark and miserable it is.
Yeah.
But the US Office is more of a feel-good show.
It is.
You can come back. It reminds you of a certain time in your life.
Oh, it's so comfortable. It's such a comfort show.
Was it Andy Bernard?
Andy Bernard.
Did he say that? How do you know that you're in the good times once you... Is that the quote?
Yeah, I wish I could felt like I was in the good days while I was in.
Remember, that's it. Yeah.
And that's true. And
I think the US Office is to me.
Honestly, it's been therapy for so many people, that show. Just while you're sick in bed, there's just so many hours to watch it, and it just takes you back to these characters that you all love. Yeah. And what the difference with the US Office is, like, every single person in the office is a character. With the UK one, it's just basically David, Brent, Tim, and Dawn, and Gareth. Yeah. And those are the 4 characters that you focus on. And you don't, you've got all these people in the background. You don't know their names. You don't really care about them. But you could list every single character.
Every side character in the US Office.
And they've all got their own personalities. And I think naturally what happens with
Stanley, Daryl.
Yeah, exactly. Phyllis, Creed, Angela.
I love Creed so much.
Creed is so good, isn't he? I wonder if he's exactly the same in real life.
Oh, I bet you he was like, because wasn't he Creed Brad the actor?
Yeah,
that is the guy. So
I love
he
it.
just played
It's literally...
which I think is incredible.
I haven't seen him in anything
but
else.
I think the interesting thing with that show is that it's no secret, and it's a cliche thing to say that it went downhill after Michael left. I mean, Goodbye Michael is one of the best episodes of television ever. So that actually gets me pretty emotional, like in its simplicity.
Oh, I cry to The Office a lot.
How meta it is, like the 989,000. Yeah, that scene. I think it was improvised.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, Steve Carell didn't know they were going to do that, which adds so much to it.
Yeah.
And like that really gets to me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like after Michael left, they struggled to find a direction for the show.
Yeah.
Not that it was all awful.
Yeah.
Not dreadful, but it was
you felt like it definitely dropped off.
Oh, for sure. And I think no more than with Andy. I know. I can't remember if you disagreed with me about this, but
yeah, a lot of people really despise Andy at the end of the show.
Oh God.
And to an extent, I understand it. I think that's how they dealt with the Erin storyline. It just felt right for him to end up with Erin, and he did become a bit of a dickhead, and he went back to his original. But I felt it worked more than you did. I think it because he was an arsehole at the beginning. Yeah. And so for him to kind of turn back around and do a full circle is kind of it's not very satisfying, but it almost makes sense to me.
Even when Andy was an arsehole, I feel like he always went in with good intentions. Yeah. By the end, he was like just a petty, like jealous ex. Yeah. Which just wasn't him, and like so irrational. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you're not the same character. Yeah. Honestly, the one character who I think is like completely unharmed throughout the whole show is Dwight. Yeah. Dwight is just consistently like fantastic.
So many people despise Pam as well.
Yeah, look, I can see why, but I don't think she's really an awful character. Yeah. But no, I have seen a lot of, like, since the show's ended, a lot of people saying why they hate Jim and Pam. Yeah. And they are frustrating characters at points, but they're kind of like, they're the audience surrogate for the show. That's what Jim always was. Yeah, exactly. Like navigating you through this weird world of like Dunder Mifflin with all these crazy co-workers.
I just think that show works so well because they got the casting exactly right.
Could you imagine?
Exactly right. I mean, Jim Halpert is just... John Krasinski is just built for Jim Halpert.
Or Michael Scott. You couldn't imagine anyone else.
And it's interesting because they nearly had Bob Odenkirk as Michael Scott. And I actually think that would have worked as well.
It could have worked, but not the same. I don't know if because I don't look at Bob Odenkirk and think, oh, you're a really lovable guy. Steve Carell, I want to give him a hug. Don't you? Yes. You want to give him a hug.
Yeah, but I think if you watch Better Call Saul, you'd have a better understanding of how Bob Odenkirk... he started at SNL, and he started from comedy and stand-up and everything. And I think he's got the perfect blend of subtlety and timing that Steve Carell had. But obviously, Steve Carell is just, he's just perfect for Michael Scott. He's just... and what I love about that show as well is that they just don't try to mimic. In season 1, they tried to mimic Ricky Gervais. Yeah,
it was really interesting. I think it might have been Rainn Wilson on a podcast. He was talking about how, did you notice after season 2, Michael is just a little bit more likable?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Because... in the first season, like especially that pilot, it's a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah, and Greg Daniels didn't want it to be like that either. Yeah. He wanted it to be the Halloween episode where Michael is trying to figure out who to fire. He wanted that to be the pilot episode. Yeah. But I
guess, he probably had the network breathing down his neck. They had to make sure the show got commissioned. Yeah. So that's
just a shame because I think at the beginning, actually, when I watched that first episode, I was like, I'm really not going to like this. This is just shot for shot. What the hell? It's trying to be like the UK one. Yeah. So generally, the first season is almost an experiment, which, to be fair, there's still some great episodes in the first season, like Diversity Day, Hot Girl, the healthcare one.
That's a classic episode.
Diversity Day
is great.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really just the first episode that doesn't really work. But yeah, no, I mean, he lost a lot of weight for 40-year-old virgin between season 1 and 2. So he looks so much better looking. He got a hair transplant. Yeah. He just looks so much better.
Yeah, no, because I did notice, like, going back to the first season, his hair...
It's more David Brent-ish. Yeah.
But speaking of SNL, the biggest alum from that is Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah.
I love Adam Sandler. I don't know about you. I've been on Adam Sandler binge.
I like Adam Sandler. Great. I think he's great. I think he's kind of effortlessly good. Yeah. I think that's his charm. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's funny that he's famous. No, it's great that he's famous, but he's just like a regular guy. He doesn't come across like that.
Yeah, he's just a regular dude.
And I think I don't get it when people, dog on the comedies he makes. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of them are trash, like Jack and Jill, even though for some people maybe
so
that's
bad.
favourite film of all time. But you got to look at the position he's in.
Yeah.
He has found himself in a spot where he can make these comedies. They make a ton of money, and he works with his friends. He can provide for his family. Why wouldn't you keep doing that? Yeah. It's like, and also the fact he's shown he can be a good actor, which sometimes is a frustration because we know he can do better. But I think especially now he's shown he can do well with like Uncut Gems, Punch Drunk Love, stuff like that. So I find I have the right to keep making my silly little comedies.
I find it interesting that he tilts towards the silly ones. Like, even though he's shown how excellent he can be.
God.
Like Punch Drunk Love. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. You've been meaning to get me to watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes, It's Always Sunny.
Is it still going on now?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they're up
How
to
many
season 15 or 16.
Damn.
Yeah, you need to watch It's Always Sunny.
You think I'd like it?
It's such an effortless show, man.
Right.
And even though I wouldn't even say they've softened their edge too much. There are little things that they couldn't do now. Well, not even little things. There's a lot that they wouldn't do, especially looking back at the other seasons. But I don't think it's lost its like brutality or edge at all.
Really?
The characters are just as shitty, just as unlikable.
Right.
It pokes fun at like every issue you could think of, kind of like South Park. I don't even know what can be said about that show.
Yeah.
It's so fantastic. And the characters are like the shittiest people. But that is the beauty of the show.
They're shitty, but do you still like them?
Yeah, for different reasons. Well, not even. I mean, there are a couple maybe you don't even like, but you're so endeared to them. I mean, that's part of like from how long the show's been going on for.
Yeah.
But it's such. I mean, this kind of structure each episode, but it's so ingenious. Something will happen. They'll have this weird ass little storyline, and in most other sitcoms, whatever happens within that storyline would actually alter the characters. It would develop them.
Right.
But whatever they do, no matter how many people they hurt along the way, they just say, let's go back to the bar and revert back. And that is the beauty of the show. So
it doesn't feel like that's interesting that works, because sometimes that frustrates me, when like it's, one episode will focus on something and then you're like, well, what the hell were the repercussions on that? Yeah. But that works.
But that is the beauty of It's Always Sunny.
Right, okay.
And I think it's because the actors, they're so endearing as well.
Yeah.
And you realise like how shitty these characters are.
Yeah, I like Charlie Day.
But Charlie Day is fantastic.
Yeah. It still consistently makes you laugh. Like,
for sure, man. For sure. Even when there's an episode that might not work, I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
But then the funny thing is, It's Always Sunny. There is the odd episode. There's actually really emotional, and it's interesting. They do give some of the characters small hints of development, where we might view them in a different way, but their personalities don't change. It's really fascinating.
Right.
Like again, I won't spoil it, but with the character of Mac, like somewhere again, I can't remember off the top of my head which season it is, maybe 10 or 11. There is a big revelation about him that is kind of built up throughout the whole show.
Right.
It wasn't planned through the beginning, but you can see hints of it.
Right.
And it actually culminates in a really emotional scene that's become quite like, it's a bit of a meme, like Danny DeVito. Maybe I'll show you it after.
Yeah.
And what is interesting, this is a big piece of development for his character, but it doesn't change him as a person.
Right.
Like, he's still just as awful.
Right.
And again, in any other show, that would not work. But in It's Always Sunny, that is its beauty and genius.
Interesting.
And the thing I like about that show, and I'm just kind of shocked it exists, is how weird it is.
Yeah. Well, does it start off relatively normal compared to how it evolves?
To how bonkers the later seasons are?
Yeah.
Yes. It's not really like normal in terms of the topics, because even with like the first few episodes, they were pushing the boundary. I mean, I think within the first season they tackled gun control, like and abortion as well.
Oh yeah.
Like,
there's some pretty dark episodes.
Those are like pretty risque subjects for a very low budget show to tackle in its first season. But no, compared to the rest of the show, it's pretty normal in comparison. And that's especially because Frank Reynolds, Danny DeVito, is not in the first season.
When does he come up?
He comes in season 2.
Oh, right, okay.
And that's why it is kind of strange to watch that first season. It still works, but without Frank.
Okay.
Because he becomes such an integral character.
Oh, I thought he came in later than that.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, you're still relatively early on.
Yeah.
But it's weird to imagine that show without him.
Yeah.
Because he is kind of like, he's the mascot of that show.
I suppose it's like when Michael Scott leaves.
Yeah, and very much so. He's so iconic. He's so quotable. So it's weird to imagine the show without Frank.
So does it get more, when you say it gets crazy, does it like get surrealist and ridiculous?
Very surrealist.
But it works.
It works so well. No, just some of the humour becomes even like stupider. It's kind of like the humour in something like Tropic Thunder or Team America.
Oh, okay.
There's very smart social satire, but also real, like, dumb, like kind of like toilet humour in there.
Yeah.
And stuff that's just a little edgy, but it like just makes
Do you think
laugh.
that makes it better? Does it get better as it goes along?
Oh, for sure.
See, I find it interesting that a show can get more outlandish as it goes on.
No, it's
usually that's inversely.
That's the thing with It's Always Sunny. A lot of the creative choices or like things we've discussed applied to any other sitcom would make it worse, but it makes it so much better.
Wow.
And actually, the great thing is, it gets crazier, but they never get lazy.
Right.
There are some really great episodes where like they'll change up the style, they'll change up just the camera work and everything. Like an episode you'd really like is Charlie Work.
Right.
Which is basically like meant to do the Birdman thing.
Okay.
It's all meant to look like one shot.
Wow.
That is one of the best episodes of the show. Mm-hmm. And it's very simple, like the health inspector's coming to check out Paddy's pub.
Right.
And because Charlie is like the janitor, he's responsible for keeping it clean and tidy. Mm-hmm. And it's just like complete chaos. And it's all meant to feel like one shot. It's just really inventive.
And is it still well received now? Like it's still like the later episodes.
Again, some weaker episodes.
Yeah.
Like some don't work as well as others, but on the whole, people still really love that show. Like me included, it is one of my favourite sitcoms.
Yeah.
So you better give it a watch. It's a slow burn, but it will make me so happy when I quote It's Always Sunny and you
it's like when I told you
reference
about Peep Show.
Legendary.
Like Peep Show is another show that I watched so many times.
We love Peep Show.
Full of dickhead characters, but they all just they work so well. I mean, the main characters are just real
Do you ever feel like we are the L Dude brothers?
Yeah, and
I feel that way.
I wonder if American viewers know about Peep Show. Probably not, because it's got a massive following here in the UK. Peep Show is just beloved.
It's a rite of passage.
There's like Peep Show quizzes. It's one of the most quotable TV shows I've ever watched.
Just honest.
It's so honest.
So honest, so
and
realistic.
I think it's just through you see it through the perspective of these characters in such an intimate way, and you hearing their funny thoughts and stuff like that. It's weird that you can watch a show that actually peeks through the curtains of actually what people are thinking. They are fucked up and twisted, but it gets away with it because it's just funny enough to get away with it.
And
some of the things that Mark thinks is so weird, where he's like,
and Jez as well.
Yeah, they're fucking
weirdos. And just most people would never think of saying that out loud, but we're like,
But you're hearing their thoughts, and so it's kind of works because everyone thinks fucked up thoughts.
And I think the choice of them to use the fisheye lens was so genius.
Yeah, the point of view.
Like that show. It's still like brilliantly written. It would still be funny.
Yeah.
But without that fisheye lens, a lot of the comedy could be lost.
Without the point of view perspective, it's just what makes it Peep Show.
Doesn't it make kissing look so uncomfortable?
Yeah, when they're kissing the camera lens.
Oh man, I can't watch it sometimes.
What are your thoughts on these live action remakes that have been coming out?
I feel like 9% of the time it's just creatively bankrupt.
Yeah.
It rarely works. And we're mostly talking about Disney.
Yeah.
Disney are the only ones doing it.
Stuff like Lion King.
Oh, God.
And
John
Mufasa.
Favreau's Lion King.
They're trying to be like, is this like shooting it like a documentary style?
I don't get why would you want to do that? If I wanted to watch a National Geographic documentary, I would watch a National Geographic documentary where I can see real lions.
Yeah.
What does it add? What am I going to get out of watching The Lion King? But with less emotion, where these like supposedly real animals have less emotion than the cartoons.
Yeah.
Man, I think the only one that I think that was pretty solid was John Favreau's The Jungle Book.
Jungle Book, yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good film.
I think that's because they kind of added a little bit to the story.
Yeah, no, it did,
changed it
because
around.
he actually decided to take from the original Kipling story.
Yeah.
Like the Rudyard Kipling book, which is a lot darker. Mm-hmm. And some of the VFX in that film are pretty striking in John Favreau's The Jungle Book, because that was all on a stage.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That kid was not in a real land. I think it's pretty remarkable.
Pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, but most of these live-action remakes are just
Did you see
crap.
Mufasa?
No, and it's... Oh, God. I saw the memes.
Yeah, essentially people said it's like, it's better than The Lion King, but the music is not as good. Like, I think they sorted out the animation, add more expressions to the face. And The Lion King 2019
That was an example of a really
like I said,
like,
creatively
people
bang.
calling it live action really annoys me as well, because it's like, it's not at live action. Why are you trying to paint it as a live action movie? It's not live action.
I don't even entirely blame Jon Favreau. Disney are paying him a shit ton of money. He has a good relationship with them. When I hear him saying like, we want to make it more realistic, man, it's like,
he said
nonsense.
he wanted to essentially shoot it as though it was like a documentary.
I don't know. Do you think he believes anything he's saying there?
I have no idea.
I don't know if he does.
He says like, I just wanted to improve on the original and all that stuff. Even Hans Zimmer, when you look at the backstory of like that live action remake, it is the most messiest film ever. Like, just Hans Zimmer is like, we need to improve the score of this movie.
Which is shocking for him to say.
And then he like doubled the orchestra.
The original score is perfect.
Yeah, and he just added all of this digital shit to it, but it really retracted from it. And actually, a lot of the instrumentation in that movie,
it's worse.
It's worse.
It's
and
much worse.
Literally wrong. There's in the opening scene, they literally sing one word in the wrong key. It's manipulative in the sense that you're just trying to capture
our nostalgia.
Capture the nostalgia, but it's told in such a clinical, boring way. I mean, the beauty of these 2D animations, and that's an interesting thing. Why the hell are there no more 2D animations anymore?
Yeah, it's kind of a lost art. I guess they're pretty expensive and it takes so much time, but it is a shame that we get so few.
Yeah, it's just not a thing anymore.
I'd love they're occasionally being made, but it's weird. It's kind of being treated in the same way that... This is a slight tangent, but you know how vinyl records now are produced, but more as like kind of a lifestyle choice. Weirdly, that's how it is with 2D animation.
Yeah,
it's being treated as a little excursion, like this artsy thing. And don't get me wrong, it is still an amazing art form, but it's not the norm. It should be the norm. 2D animation. It's being done more now as like a throwback.
Yeah.
Like,
strange,
people don't buy a vinyl record because it's more convenient to use.
Because it's a beauty.
Exactly, because it's classic.
Yeah,
I think that's a shame that's what's happened to 2D animation.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons was just... Scar, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He was the perfect fucking voice.
He's just got a great voice, man. He's so scary.
He was snarky, he was sarcastic, his voice was just so on point. It was unique, it was interesting, it wasn't just that kind of basic angry, like, I'm going to kill everyone, right? Whereas the guy who actually is a very talented actor...
I think might have been Chiwetel Ejiofor. Great actor.
It was the guy in 12 Years a Slave, right?
That's right,
yes,
he's a fantastic actor.
He's an excellent actor, but his voiceover as Scar was just night and day compared to Jeremy Irons.
Like that scene where he's like, long live the king, and then just gives him this little, like a bitch slap, like, and then you hear little Simba go, no! I felt absolutely nothing.
And what bloody annoys me about it is that in a lot of the casting in that film, and they were so arrogant, they set themselves up for like every fucking Oscar nomination you could get, right?
Because of course they need to have an original song in
there. Yeah.
Just to show that they
But they're using like these comedians. There was like a talk show host as
what's his name? John Oliver was who was the bird?
The bird, yeah.
I can't remember the bird's name.
Yeah, the guy who did,
Rowan Atkinson, for God's sake.
You've got Rowan Atkinson, who is a master at comedy, right?
Yeah.
And also his voice is just perfect for it. As a stand-in, to replace that, you use
just a random British
talk show host guy, right? Doesn't know what he's doing. You've got these people who can't act, like the kids can't act. They're good at singing, but they can't act, right? So it's
weird.
Nothing about that movie works.
No, but
for me. The
only thing I can maybe give it is that casting Seth Rogen makes sense.
Kind of works.
He fits for Timon or Pumbaa.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah, whichever one.
And also,
but then the problem is, you can't be the guy from the original, Nathan Lane.
You just can't beat anything from the original.
You can't be either of those.
And they could do. In theory, you could have done an excellent live action remake that could have worked with just great voiceovers. And actually, in a lot of different languages, they actually casted, I think like in the Chinese version and the Japanese version, they casted like proper good voiceover
from those
actors.
countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually legit worked. But even with James L. Jones, he got so old, it was a shame. His
God, you can hear how tired his voice is.
And they actually used some sound bits from the original.
Archival.
Yeah,
okay.
Because he just couldn't get
He's
it.
old, man. He's probably tired. It's the same with the Darth Vader voice. Like, in Rogue One, I loved hearing him back as Darth Vader, but you could tell how tired his voice is. He's like, God, how many more of these am I going to have to do?
Yeah. And it's weird when we talk about these movies because, look, it is an insanely impressive and just incredible movie to look at. Just in the sense of, wow, look at where we've come in terms of technology and CGI and the fact that you can create this all in a studio.
Yeah, but it's clinical.
Yeah, it's clinical.
It's so clinical. I don't really care how beautiful this environment is.
And also, it's dated now already. That's the thing with these tech demo movies is they date themselves very quickly.
Oh, God, and that was only 5 years ago. I mean, I guess the pandemic has kind of sped time up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But speaking of tech demos, I feel the same about Avatar. Haven't seen the sequels.
Oh, Avatar.
But the third one's coming out, and it's like, God, James Cameron. I
It's
wish he would do something else.
It's an interesting direction he's taken.
Yeah, we've lost a good 10 years of films from him because he's just become obsessed with Avatar. And fair play.
How many has he filmed now?
So they filmed about 4, and I think he's making the 5th right now.
That's insane.
The third one's coming out. The 4th is ready to go.
Very strange.
And it's like he's earned the right. He's the most successful. Never doubt against him. I mean, I thought Avatar 2 would do poorly. It still made about $1 billion, maybe that's $2 billion.
We knew that would happen.
So never doubt him.
Yeah.
But I just look at these Avatar films, and my God, they're gorgeous. I mean, no, he's a revolutionary when it comes to visual effects. along with George Lucas, who did Star Wars, founded ILM. But it just looks like a screensaver, like I'm watching it's like a video game.
The Avatar Way of Water is one of the most...
Did you see?
Yeah, one of the most boring fucking films I've ever seen. And it's so funny that I say that because, like you said, it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous movie. Just staggering to look at it. But it is so dull. And it's just interesting. You can have that experience of maybe I'm just ungrateful, but a lot of people had the same experience of how it's so painstakingly boring. The plot is just so silly and so over the top and so ridiculous. And the fact that he's doing 5 of them, it's just like you say, fair play to him that, look, we know that all of these movies are going to make, a lot of money.
He's the director you can never count against.
Yeah.
Never doubt James Cameron. He'll always make money.
Yeah, I mean...
No matter what.
yeah.
It's like he can't not.
Yeah. But I just wish he turned to more interesting stuff. Because for me, Avatar is not what cinema is about for me.
Though, to be fair, I think after he's done with Avatar, he is making a war film about Hiroshima, which I'm actually really interested in.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like the Oppenheimer story, but told from the perspective of the Japanese.
Oh, wow. That's
which will be interesting.
That's great. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, so he is doing that. But
fuck knows when that will come out,
Probably not for a while.
15 years or something.
Yeah, but God, there are too many Avatar sequels, man.
I mean, I didn't even particularly like the first one.
And the interesting thing about the first one, and it's become a punching bag, for this reason, it's the most successful film of all time. I think maybe not anymore, Avengers Endgame beat it, so it's still the second most.
Yeah.
But it's the most at that before Avengers Endgame, it was the most highest grossing film of all time. And you can't name a single character from it. You can't say anything about it. But that's true though about Avatar. Do you remember the characters?
No. All I remember is that they have to get something called unobtainium. Which is so goofy. It's just
and even if he did that intentionally, that's so lazy, man. You had to name your fucking plot device unobtainium.
Oh, there's something that my characters can't obtain. Oh, I'll call it
unobtainium. What is it? It's a rock on this planet. It's so.
For me, those movies are just not what cinema is about. I understand that it works for a hell of a lot of people, And don't get me wrong, it's visually beautiful. Maybe for 5 minutes, sure. 5 minutes.
But I think that's why it did so well because at the time the visual effects weren't as developed. So I think it was the right circumstances.
Maybe if I watched it high.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'd be like, wow, I fucking understand it. But to be fair, that's with most
But
movies.
then there's not much to understand. I mean, this has been said 100 times before, but it's just Pocahontas and Dances with Wolves, but with weird little blue aliens. And it is.
Practically, yeah.
That's all it is. It's
To me, there's just no substance.
Soldier goes into village to infiltrate it, falls in love with villagers' customs, realises he connects them more than he thought he did. Oh no, the army has to destroy the village.
Yeah.
Or isn't corporate America bad? And it's just like, war is bad. And I'm like, I've seen this, man.
Yeah. What's an example of a film that kind of actually does work just on a surface level in terms of just visuals, and that's it? There's no substance to
You
it.
go first. I feel like
for example, like just like Avatar, right? We don't like it because there's really no substance. Just like we say, it's a bit of a tech demo. It's visually stunning, but it's empty. I'm trying to think of a movie that actually I can think of that works on that level, but I enjoy. You could say maybe 1917, but then that does have substance.
Yeah, that's...
You know? But
it has substance.
The main reason why I enjoyed 1917 was just the nature of the one shot and how it's filmed.
So effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is one where it's like, it's not an original story.
No, it's very, very,
it's very simple, but...
Simple and basic. You just follow
it. It all works.
It works because it's just experiential,
Yeah.
Strange. It's interesting because... You know, I was saying that I like those experiential films. So you'd think that, like, on paper, that I would love Avatar, but it's weird. Maybe like it's just full of animation. It's strange.
I mean, actually, one I've thought of, but then it's doing a disservice if we include in this category. I mean, we're going to anyway, because it has so much substance. But for the people who like it, it didn't. Is Babylon?
Babylon. Oh wow, yeah.
Is like which is flawed. Mm-hmm. We can definitely say that.
Yeah.
But man, it just works on so many levels. Even though for a lot of people they would put it in the category of, there's not much to it. It's just
that's a good one.
How
really.
Great cinema is.
Babylon's a good one because it is very, very kind of just in your face.
It's loud,
explosions, crazy things happening all the time. It's just relentlessly entertaining on a surface level. And it's just Damien Chazelle having a great time. And through his eyes, that's how we saw the 1920s Hollywood.
That ending, man.
Yeah.
That ending is what a film student would make, but in the best possible way.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying that as a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's because that whole ending is basically saying movies, how amazing movies are, but it's so good. He's earned it, man. You can feel how much he loves those movies.
So are people starting to like Babylon now? Because at the beginning...
They're seeing the light,
right?
Which I'm so happy about. They're realising how much of a banger it is.
I think that's a film that's
such a good
designed to be watched in the cinema.
Yeah.
Babylon. Yeah. I'm actually quite upset at how badly received that was at the time.
Even Margot Robbie doesn't get it.
Oh, she doesn't get why people
she doesn't understand why
like
people didn't like it. She's
strange. Maybe, because it's very indulgent. I don't know.
It's indulgent.
It's strange. But, that was a fucking phenomenal time at the cinemas, Babylon.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm so intrigued to see what he's doing next. Yeah. Damien Chazelle is just brilliant. He's a master at endings. Every single one of his films. You think about the ending of Whiplash.
Whiplash, God.
Great. La La Land. He just culminates this great, these montages that just sum up the movie in such a spectacular way, and then he just ends it.
I also think they sum up the feeling of movies.
Yes, exactly.
Completely.
Exactly.
Which is the most film bro-y thing I think I've ever said. At least the top 5. But it's so true, man.
Yeah.
That's why, do you think it's a little harsh putting Babylon in that category of something that is maybe just more spectacle without a point? Because it has so much point. So I was trying to think of one, but I'm realising after saying it.
Yeah, it's hard.
Maybe that it doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
1917 is a better choice.
Yeah.
Even though there is stuff to it, it's, compared to Babylon, there's maybe not as much.
Yeah.
It's
still true, though, because it works on that indulgent surface level where it's just very much about the experience of the movie.
But going back to TV, there's a show that uses the one shot that I know you weren't a fan of, that I absolutely loved, was The Studio.
Oh, The Studio, yeah.
I love The Studio, man. Also because being a massive film bro.
Yeah.
Just interesting because it focuses on the business side of it.
Right.
And like Seth Rogen and like the showrunners, a lot of the characters and conversations are based on real people. And apparently they've had like high-ranking executives calling them up being like, did you write this about me? And they're like, no, man, we didn't. But...
Oh, yeah, I watched a few episodes of it.
It's so funny.
I've heard, though, that it gets worse. I've heard as the episodes go along, it kind of gets a little bit...
I guess the reason why some people didn't like it is it's more a series of vignettes than an actual narrative. Because the whole thing is Seth Rogen's character becomes head of this studio. And you would expect that, like, it follows his gradual rise to power and how he navigates that.
Yeah.
And he does, but the episodes aren't really connected.
Right.
They're little vignettes, kind of like little short films, really. But it just works, and the way they use the one shot, especially in, I think this is the episode you've seen, where they're on set and they're trying to get the last shot of the day.
I'll go back to it. I'll give it another
It's so good, man. And then you'll love Bryan Cranston in that.
Oh, yeah.
So he plays like the head of the studio.
He's a wanker. He's a dickhead, right?
And his character is a massive dickhead, and he's crazy. Like the last 2 episodes, he goes bonkers, but it's so good.
We were talking earlier about BoJack Horseman. Have you seen BoJack? You like BoJack Horseman?
Yeah, I've seen BoJack.
It's an excellent
Great
show.
show.
And we were talking about animations. That's a particular animation that just really catches you off guard, just in how fucking deep it is.
How emotional it is.
It's so emotional.
Did you ever think you'd be crying at BoJack Horseman?
It's it's so ridiculous. You're following these characters. It doesn't even explain why they're animals. They're just plopped in there.
Just go with it.
Animals walking around with people, right? And yet it's one of the most profound TV series I've watched. And it's just so impressive how it managed to do that. Just with stupid character drawings. It's not even like they're particularly well drawn or anything.
Mr. Peanut Bar is a dog in a t-shirt.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It works so
like BoJack. I mean, what do? They give him a blazer and a jumper. It's not even like inventive character design.
Oh my God, some of the episodes in that. I particularly love some of the episodes where like BoJack goes on like a hallucinatory,
like a psychedelic,
like an acid trip or something.
Yeah. Oh God.
And it just takes you on the journey, like an existential journey of just his life, of dealing with fame, dealing with drugs and all that stuff.
Man,
and relationships.
how am I feeling so emotional for this horse?
Insane. Yeah. Oh my God. I tell you what, I don't know if you remember the penultimate episode of BoJack Horseman. It's got a 9.8.
Wow.
I think it's got a 9.9 actually on IMDb, right?
Jesus.
And it deserves every bit of praise it gets. I cried like a fucking baby after watching that episode. And man, the emotional journey that it takes you on is just so fucking weird. I think it's just that at its very nature, the fact that it's a cartoon and the fact that it can make you culminate such strange emotions, like it's so unbelievably true to life. It's
real.
It's so real, yeah.
Such a real show.
It's such a silly.
The standout moment for me is, I can't remember if it was the end of season 2 or 3 because it's been a while since I've gone back to the show.
Yeah.
Is when he drives out to the cliff. I'm pretty sure in that moment he's about to like kill himself. He's in the car, and then he sees these horses like running across the canyon, and has that beautiful song.
Oh my God! It's like, it gives you the chills.
Yeah, man.
It gives you the chills, man.
So good.
It's so weird how profound it is.
And then, like, the fact that Aaron Paul's in that show, and even though I see Jesse Pinkman, Todd is still, like, quite an interesting character.
Yeah.
But they don't even hide it. He looks like Jesse. Outfit. Did that ever distract you, though?
It did distract me a little bit. I was just like, I'm just watching Jesse at this point. But still, an amazing, amazing show. So good. It's very rare for me that a cartoon
to be so emotional.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the thing is with like cartoons, they're often, like adult cartoons, they're not really used for sentimentality. It's more like to critique and poke fun at the world.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, that's one of the shows that really does that.
I think like you were saying about the studio, I think the reason why I like BoJack Horseman so much is that it actually kind of follows a story. Mm-hmm. You have to kind of watch it in one by one. Because he does evolve as he goes on, and there's a hell of a lot of character developments throughout the show that have a lasting ripple effect in the story, and I think that's why I just think it goes a lot deeper than most animated shows that, to me, are good fun, but they're pretty surface level. I think that's why The Simpsons doesn't work anymore.
And I do wonder what Netflix thought when they agreed to make that show.
Yeah,
I bet you any money they probably didn't have any faith in it, and then were shocked at how they thought this is just so weird.
Even the intro.
How is this? Who's going to be the audience for this?
Even the intro. Back in the 90s,
I was in a famous TV show.
Great show, man.
Oh,
anyone who hasn't watched that, even if you don't like cartoons, give it a go. Because it's insanely well written.
I mean, it might cause you to have a bit of a breakdown, but
in all the best ways, give you a bit of an existential crisis.
4 days. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this new, different setting out here. And
we should plug the location.
Oh yeah,
on Wasdale.
Yeah,
Wasdale Lakeside campsite.
Yeah,
please visit.